Do you remember how hype Mario sports games used to be? Like, yeah, you could always play the platforming games, or you could be chilling with the big kids playing awesome titles like Mario Strikers Charged, Mario Sports Mix with the Final Fantasy fam, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. I swear it's a lot more fun than it sounds. These games were filled to the brim with so much charm, personality, quirkiness, all making for some fantastic stuff that I still play. I'd argue that a lot of these are Mario Kart levels of good, so don't be sleeping on Mario and friends in the big leagues now. Lately though, they've been a bit, how should I put this? Boring, lifeless, bad. Mario Sports Superstars is a collection of sports games for the cast to play, but they did this before with Mario Sports Mix, and that game was awesome. Here though, they're just the sports with no fun spins to them. Where are the items, the twists to the rules that keep the players on their toes? There's nothing here. Nothing. This hasn't been more apparent than in the tennis games if you ask me though. Mario Power Tennis is some of the most fun on the GameCube, and I heard the Game Boy Advanced one is pretty good too. Glad one Mario spin-off got a good game on that console anyway. But it had been years since then, and the sports spin-offs were starting to struggle. Specifically talking about the most recent tennis game at the time, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash for the Wii U. In order for me to fully explain why this game fails at just about everything, let me go over what makes a Mario Tennis game so great. Matches have energy, unpredictability, and charm to them. Things are moving fast, you have to think on your toes while using strategy, and due to special moves combined with the different character types, you have to expect just about anything and react accordingly. Combine this with the expressive cartoon cast of the Mushroom Kingdom, the base gameplay of Mario Tennis games are made way more fun than they have any right to be. Like, this is tennis! You know, the thing you don't watch in the Olympics. Oh, sorry, what were we talking about? Because of this, I love the sports spin-offs, but not Ultra Smash. Sure, the game looks beautiful and everything is running smoothly, but it's like they completely forgot the substance to the core tennis formula. See, there are these spots that not only show exactly where the ball is gonna land, but are the most powerful shots in the game. So rather than using your brain in freaking tennis strategies, it's all about going to the glowy circle than anything else. Sure, there's that one item in the form of the Mega Mushroom, even if it doesn't do anything but make you bigger anyway, and special attacks are cool as usual, but Mario Power Tennis didn't need items, it didn't need specials, although they did have them to a much more watered down level. It was just fast-paced, energy-filled, strategy-inducing gameplay. You know, the stuff that matters. You know, the stuff this game doesn't have. And let's not forget that there's literally nothing to do in this dull piece of shit game except for playing tennis different ways. I mean, this wouldn't be as bad if the tennis gameplay was fun, but it isn't. Therefore, it is bad. Now, why do I bring this up? You look at the title, a video about Mario Tennis Aces, and I haven't even brought up the damn thing yet. Well, I want us all to be on the same page on what makes not only a great Mario sports game, but a great Mario Tennis game. It's important to know how the Wii U one failed compared to the great template the GameCube game left, so we can really know what Aces does right, if anything at all. Whenever they'd show the game, it looked promising. Graphics are never a concern, but the game looked to have a lot more of what made Mario Tennis games so fun to begin with. Not fucking follow the pretty lights or some shit like that. But looking and playing are two entirely different things. I had a good feeling about this game, so I picked it up day one. I was curious to see how I'd feel about this. It's been so long since I've been excited about a Mario sports game. The last time was that London 2012 Olympic crap with this beautiful blue bastard. Great game, by the way. Anywho, Aces came, I got it, and here we are. Does Mario Tennis Aces finally get it right with the tennis spin-off series? Yes! And no. Let me explain. Well, we can go ahead and dock points because yet again, we don't get a dope-ass CG cutscene like in the other Mario sports games. I know this shouldn't be that big of a deal, and if anything, it should be good that the game immediately pulls you right to the title screen, but they were so cool, man! Not to mention the incredible animation and personality in each one. Ugh, where are you, baby? Again, it's probably not that deep, but Ultra Smash didn't have one either, and I just missed them, okay? The first time you start up the game, it throws you into an adventure mode of all things. Whoa, wait a minute, an adventure? As in, there are other modes than just playing tennis different ways? There are CG cutscenes, character interactions, a dumb as hell plot surrounding tennis, and when you do play a tennis gameplay, it's good? Well, we did it. We beat Ultra Smash. Not saying much, but it's been about 10 minutes and I'm already having more fun in this game. Aces for Game of the Year, everybody. Alright, let me calm down and take a step back for a second. Sorry, Ultra Smash messed me up. For real this time, let's talk about this mode. Looking at it critically, Adventure Mode is Okay, it's not very good. The character interactions we got at the beginning are basically all you're gonna get. What every dialogue boils down to is justification for why we're playing tennis, and that's just so whack. The story has no beef. It's all just running from point A to point B without any motivation. I just do it because I have to in order to beat the game. Where's the lovin', the motivation, the character dialogue? Give me more of that. The world map also gives off the illusion of branching paths, but whenever you go in the direction you're not supposed to, the game will come up with some reason why you can't choose your own path, so it's linear. I mean, that's fine normally, but why make me believe I can go where I want when the game's just pushing me in one direction? Yes, there are small detours, but these are single extra stages you can do, so wow, so deep. As for the missions themselves, oh boy. When you're playing tennis normally, it's actually a lot of fun because of the fundamentals that I'll go over later on. Sure, the AI can be really cheap and the stage hazards are not fun and even are stacked against you in some cases, but it's tennis. I can get over it. But everything else? So gimmicky to the point where I can't find enjoyment. It sucks too because at the start of the adventure, I was having fun. It was easy and casually enjoyable. Later down the line though, that's when the game cranks it up and you start to notice the flaws. For one, almost every single mission has a time limit. Why? I don't fucking know, but what I do know is that there are no checkpoints, so if you're doing good but just take too long, you can cry all you want, but your ass is going all the way back to the beginning. Not to mention that when you lose, you have to go through a loading screen, read dialogue of some asshole telling you how much you suck, reselect the mission, read the same pre-mission dialogue again, then you can try again. Was it so hard to program a retry button? This just adds up and makes my patience wear thin every single time I fail. And that happens a lot when there's a fucking timer! Not even the bosses are fun because of that piece of shit. It's hard to figure out patterns and do the boss when the clock keeps ticking down and I'm thrown back to square one. Sure, the dodging mechanics are fun, but like, fighting these guys is just rallying a tennis ball then hitting them with a charge shot in their weak spots. Sometimes they block them and you have to keep using the charged hits, but if you didn't build up enough energy over the rallying, you can't even do that, so that's fun. And one more thing, the game tries to add some RPG elements to it, like having you unlock different rackets as you go and leveling up after doing missions. This is so tacked on and forced though. I noticed no difference over the course of the journey, so that just goes to show how pointless it is. Also, a new racket just amounts to it has higher stats, so any customization that could have had is just thrown out the window. Lame. Adventure mode left me disappointed. Sure, there were fun ideas for missions and bonus games, but in the end, when it's not just tennis, it's mindless fun at most, and a damn chore at worst. It's linear, has missed potential with the characters and the plot in general, drags, and there are a lot of smaller missteps that added up to my frustration over the adventure's playthrough. A good attempt, I'll give it that. The beginning was fun anyway, but the further I got, the more I disliked it, and that's a shame. I do hope that they build on the idea though. I love the idea of a fun adventure mode and want to see it return in future Mario Tennis games. On top of my criticisms, here are some ideas to make it better. Let us choose our characters so we can play as anyone other than Mario, and give us character interactions over the course of the story so conversations aren't just play me in tennis and I'll do whatever the plot needs me to. If that means that you have to make it shorter, fine. Nobody asked for a long adventure anyway. This is just a tennis game. Odds are we're just trying to unlock other courts and characters, so who cares? Also, if you want to give us a world map and lead us to believe it's non-linear, just make it non-linear. Or if that's too much, just don't give us a world map. Pick one. These are all simple changes that could make a future adventure mode great, but for now, this is simply a mode you play to unlock shit, which is pretty lame. Well, they tried, and that's more than some games can say, but that's enough on that. You come to this game expecting to play tennis above all else, so we should focus more on that, right? How does the tennis gameplay itself fare to the finest of this little spin-off franchise? Well, the frame rate runs at the oh-so-sexy 60 frames per second while keeping up with the fast animations in tennis matches, so that's good. And there aren't any freaking targets to move to, completely ruining all challenge and anything to make the game remotely interesting, so yay! Instead, this game's main gimmick is this little energy bar in the top corners of the screen. If I could describe this in one word, it'd be genius. You need energy to do anything fancy in the game. You can do powerful shots that make the ball go super fast, you can slow down time to reach the ball quicker, especially when people do these fancy power shots, and finally do your special moves. This not only doesn't detract from the thinking you have to do while playing tennis normally, but adds a whole new layer of strategy. While building up your energy, do you use it for defensive purposes? How about offense to keep your opponent on their toes and get them off balance? Maybe a mixture of the two. Or do you bet it all for one special move? It all makes the game a hell of a lot more interesting to play. There's also trick shots to be done, allowing for characters to zoom across the court and hit the balls in style while adding energy to the meters. Risky yet rewarding, and you feel like a badass when you pull it off. Yeah. And because the game has so much energy, the balls are getting hit a lot harder now. Oh, that sounded way better in my head. Meaning your tennis rackets can break. So unless you have perfect timing for a satisfying block, you could get KO'd and cost yourself the entire match. Things are getting pretty serious this time around, but oh man, I love it. It's because of this that I can say that gameplay-wise, this has got to be my favorite in the entire series. That's not even mentioning the drop-dead gorgeous visuals in this game. I love the colors, shading, backgrounds, the effects of the tennis balls, the courts themselves, and most importantly, the character models. Baby girl Rosalina looks so good. Like, damn, girl, I see you working. These characters always manage to be so expressive regardless of the game's quality, and this one is no exception. I can so easily tell what every character's thinking at every given moment, and I eat that shit up, man. Oh yeah, baby, you already know I'm gonna hit that ball so hard. I'm gonna be the biggest pain in the ass in this entire game. Oh man, I'm kicking someone's ass today. Oh, thank God I'm in a good tennis game again. Every sound is so satisfying to listen to with the always great voice clips from these guys, the sound effects of every hit and bounce, the surprisingly catchy music, so on and so forth. Put it all together and you've got a game that looks, sounds, and plays great. This is all looking like it'll make the best Mario Tennis game, yeah? Well, kinda, but here's the issue. That's where it all stops. For my best comparison, think of it like Smash Wii U. The core gameplay of both games is without a doubt the finest up to that point in their respective series, but take a look deeper at the game as a whole. Besides maybe one single player mode with a bit of value, there's Once again, we're left with no special games, and at this point, I'm just confused. Does Nintendo not think we like these? Maybe they feel like the tennis is enough to hold this game, and like, maybe, but not one for $60, that's for sure. I hate to keep making comparisons here, but past Mario Tennis games were packed with stuff to do. Lots of it no one cares about, but it was there and gave the games a lot more beef. Same can be said for a lot of the great Mario sports games. That's one of the reasons why they were so damn great. Why are we ignoring a key element to the game's fun factor? I just don't get it. You know what else I don't get? Why the options are so stupid. For one, you can't pick what court you want to play on. The game always randomly picks for you. If there's a specific one you want to go to, you have to manually turn off all the other ones just so the random selection is forced to pick the one of your choosing. Just let me pick the stage I want to go on. Oh, and speaking of stages, the stage hazards suck. They range from annoying to downright rage-inducing, and there have been a couple of times where the stages fuck me over instead of my opponent. That shouldn't be in a tennis game. I know part of the fun comes from the unpredictability, but that in of itself should just come from my opponent, not a random shy guy that just happens to walk across the stage with a tennis racket. That's fucking stupid. Also, the rules on tennis matches lengths are limited to a weird degree as well. I can only play quick play, which is the first to 7 points or so, or the best out of 2 games, when tournament mode itself offers up different time periods. The customization here is limited for no reason when it's clear to see that the game can handle other time frames. Not sure why that wasn't considered either. And on the topic of customization, I just wish there were more options. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, for example, your player wasn't just determined by the character type you selected. You also had to consider the stats of the vehicles you'd make, meaning that everyone could have a different playstyle and ways of approaching the game's challenges. Here, the characters are different types as per Mario's spin-off norm, but if I were given the ability to change my racket or something of this sort, that'd make for more interesting matchups and strategies to be had. It's not like this is impossible either, as adventure mode itself has you changing rackets over the course of the journey, so why couldn't that be factored in here? I feel like there are just some basic elements missing that would make the game as a whole the best in the series. If anything, at least give us the mini games again. You had them in the 3DS version, so I know you didn't forget. What gives? With all this in mind, I'm comfortable saying that this game isn't worth full price objectively. Sure, we got a story mode, which isn't all that great, mind you, but once that's over, yeah, there's nothing. Well, nothing but the tennis matches to be had, and that's the thing. Tennis in general for this game is so fucking fun. I love doing trick shots. I love sniping my opponents with a special attack. I love thinking on my toes and playing a good game set and match of tennis. It feels so good and plays so good. Best in the series in that regard. While I don't think it's worth the price of admission for the big 60, I don't regret my purchase as I'm still having a lot of fun both playing by myself and with friends. Nothing beats the latter though, and for the matches I've played online, unless your Wi-Fi is a potato, the connections work really well. Mario Tennis Aces gets it partially right by fixing up gameplay to a T, and when you take a step back, you tend to notice the lack of substance overall. However, like Smash Bros, I'm having some of the most fun I've had in this franchise doing the one thing it's supposed to do best, and I think that's okay. Is it the best in the series? I don't think so. I still prefer Power Tennis, but it's up there alright. We just have a little bit more to put in these games to get back to where we were, but we're almost there. Mario Tennis Aces is a great game, and it feels good to have faith that we'll make it back to where we used to be in due time. Bring back strikers though. Please. They were so fun.